Lords and ladies, dear patrons, I am Lord Blood-Rah, and you have come home to the Cathode Zone, where each week we will explore the shadowy depths of old-time TV. You hear that? That's silence. Peace and quiet. Don't you crave that sometimes? Just gentle, noiseless, distraction-free peace and quiet. Tonight's story, which comes to us from the dim, distant year of 1961, is about a scientist who is trying to bring sweet, tranquilizing peace and quiet to the world. So you know it has to end up horribly. Tonight's tale is Hush Hush from Roald Dahl's Way Out.
And now, our host, Roald Dahl.
How are you? Are you feeling tired and run down? Are your eyeballs muddy? Is your breath not quite so sweet as usual? And do you sometimes lack the pep to go out dancing all evening with your wife after a hard day at the office? If so, you should try my grandmother's famous tonic beverage, which she always referred to as snake water. She made it simply by disconnecting the rubber pipe from the gas ring in the kitchen, and then bubbling the gas through a quart of beer for half an hour. Mind you, she never drank it herself. She gave it to my grandfather, and the effect was astonishing. The old man would at once become extremely exhilarated, singing songs and leaping over the furniture everywhere. But it killed him in a month. Some of you, of course, may not have gas in your home. You can, however, achieve roughly the same results by picking the wadding out of one of those Benzedrine inhalers and soaking it for 12 hours in a tumbler of brandy. Your man will dance all night on that, but he'll be a wreck in the morning and a goner within the week. I have purposely refrained from talking about tonight's play for fear of giving away the plot. It's called Hush Hush by Bob Van Scoik, and it's Way Out.
How long did it take to get out of the maze the last time?
53 seconds.
Go. Look! Look, it doesn't have the slightest desire to get out of the maze now, not the slightest.
She's completely tranquilized.
It's sonic tranquilization.
Professor Lydecker. Allow me, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, William.
You'll have to make an announcement now, sir.
Oh, we're not ready to publish. Oh.
But this is a major breakthrough, sir. At last, by the use of sound waves, the brain can be released from all pressures and false drives. Complete relaxation, utter tranquility.
Well, I must admit, I'm rather pleased.
When I think of the practical application, the same principle applied to nations, Professor, this could mean the end of war.
She's so peaceful, so quiet. But we mustn't be impatient, William. We still have lots of work to do. Here. Yeah, that little fellow's taught us everything that he can. Now, bring on the next one, eh?
Yes, sir.
William, you haven't taken my notebook again, have you? I had it here a minute ago.
Could this be it, sir?
Thank you.
Can I get you anything from the commissary, Professor? Professor?
Oh, Mr. Rogers.
Mrs. Lydecker, good afternoon.
Is my husband in there?
Oh, yes, but he's awfully busy.
Oh, don't tell me he's busy. He was supposed to meet me for lunch an hour ago.
We were at a crucial stage of the experiment.
Oh, now he's got you making excuses for him. Let's see what he has to say.
But, Mrs. Lydecker, I'm afraid you can't take the dog into the lab.
I'd like to know why not.
Well, he might disturb things.
All right. Don't fret, Cupid doll. Mama's be right back. Well, Ernest, you have any idea what time it is? I am talking to you, Ernest.
Bernice.
You have humiliated me for the last time. I am just not going to put up with it any longer. I am not going to.
We were supposed to have lunch together.
Do you realize how many hours I have spent waiting for you in restaurants?
Well, I'm sorry. I was working.
Oh, don't give me that. Your work isn't so important that you can't tear yourself away for lunch. David Ainsley is the vice president of a corporation, and he is never too busy to meet Margaret for lunch.
Well, she's well organized.
Yes, and it's high time you started pulling yourself together. You're wasting your life in this pig pen. Gosh, if you ever clean it up, look at all this junk.
Please, don't touch anything.
Look at you, with a button missing and a grease stain on your coat. Ernest, did you shave this morning?
Well, I don't really know.
You don't really know.
Please, don't raise your voice, Bernice.
What do you expect me to do? You have no consideration for me at all. You're slovenly and forgetful, and Margaret Ainsley tells me how well David is doing. I could just die. When are you ever going to get anywhere?
There's a lot of delicate sound equipment in here. I
Now
beg
listen
of you
to me. I have invited the Ainsleys over for dinner tonight. Now, you can learn a lot from a successful man like David Ainsley.
Well, if you think so.
Margaret says that David has more responsibility than the president of the corporation. Margaret says that David's bonus will be larger than your salary this year. Margaret even says
Margaret says a lot, doesn't she?
Cocktails at 7:30. Please come home in time to dress.
Well, I am sorry about lunch.
Just once in your life, Ernest, be on time. Where's Cupid doll?
I had to give him to one of the students, take him outside. He was barking. Did you tell Mrs. Lydecker the good news?
Good news.
About the success of your experiment.
Oh, no, I forget. Oh, yeah, that looks like a fine, healthy young specimen. Well, you ready to go into a state of euphoria, are you? Now, you better get your gloves for this one, will you?
Yes, sir. He can use some calming down. Here you go, Buster. Now, take it easy. A completely altered personality, as docile as a kitten.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'd like to get on to the next series of tests. That's 14B. It's reaction to stimuli various.
It's getting late, Professor. You've had a long day.
I know, we're so close, I don't like to stop now.
But you need the rest. Even a chimpanzee can't go on indefinitely.
Well, I suppose you're right, William. As usual, I've lost all track of time. Suppose he can wait till morning, all right? Good Lord, well, what time is it exactly?
11:15.
Listen, you put the animal away. I'll lock up here. I've got to get home.
Yes, sir. Here we go, Buster.
You can't possibly give me an excuse this time.
I forgot.
You had no right to forget. We waited dinner for you until 9:30. The evening was ruined. Naturally, there's no telephone in this place. I couldn't call you. I couldn't reach you. It was so damn frustrating.
Well, I'm sure the Ainsleys will forgive me.
Yes, but I won't. It's bad enough to be married to a man who doesn't care about anything important like money.
This is important. It's world peace through peace of mind.
Stop it. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care.
I'm talking about my experiment is nearly done.
Yes, but there'll be another one, and another one after that, and another one after that. You'll spend more and more time in this horrible place, and we'll lose all our friends. We'll never be able to entertain or have people over to the house. Or...
Bernice, I've almost finished the control test. You don't know what that means, do you?
Yes! Means you care more about your stupid experiments than you care for me. I hate your experiments! I hate your stupid laboratory! I hate this filthy place with its mice! I hate it! I
Bernice, are you all right?
Yes, sweetheart. Perfectly.
Shoo! Shoo!
Thank you, my dear. That smile is worth everything. You know, Bernice, you're a different woman. You're the girl I married.
I'm at peace with the world. It's a wonderful feeling, Ernest.
I think this is the beginning of something wonderful for both of us. Do you mind if I read?
Oh, no, Ernest, I don't mind.
I always used to annoy you. What'd you do that for?
It's much too loud. Nicer this way.
Cupid, I must have heard you. You know how he is. He'll go on barking for hours. Always seems to bark at bedtime. He's quiet now. It's nice to have everything so peaceful.
Yes. Everything quiet.
Oh, poor Cupid doll. I guess he just got yippy at the wrong time. Well, with Mrs. Lydecker developing a psychotic need for absolute quiet. She even killed the poor thing quietly. Oh, and speaking of killing, this episode stars familiar that guy actor Philip Coolidge, who had a long career with many TV roles, but whom horror fans will no doubt recognize from the Vincent Price William Castle classic, The Tingler. Ha ha! Well, let's get on to part 2 of Hush Hush from Way Out. But first, the comedy stylings of Wayne and Schuster.
Hi, he's Johnny Wayne. He's Frank Schuster. And we'd like to tell you something about our new series, Holiday Lodge, which can be seen on most of these CBS television stations on Sunday nights. And this show has a lot of surprises. It's really different. For instance, it does not take place in the 20s. And it isn't underwater. There is no violence in it.
absolutely no talking animals.
What it does have, of course, is Wayne and Schuster. Wayne and Schuster? Maybe we better get a singing cat.
It is a shame Ernest couldn't tear himself away from the laboratory last night. David was so disappointed. He wanted to hear all about experimental psychology. David has such a keen mind. He's interested in everything. But we know the college expects Ernest to keep busy. He's not his own master the way David is. So please, Bernice, please don't be upset because the evening was a shambles.
I'm not upset, Margaret.
Good. That's the spirit. You know, I called you several times this morning and I simply couldn't get through. I told the operator I thought something was wrong with your telephone. Ha, I was right. Dead as a dodo. What on earth?
It kept on ringing.
But the wire's been cut.
It just wouldn't stop.
Oh, then it was out of order. Well, I'll telephone the phone company just as soon as I get home and tell them to come fix it.
Oh, please, don't bother.
It's no trouble, for heaven's sake. You can't live without a telephone. Bernice, you seem unusually quiet this morning. Do you feel all right?
I've never felt better in my life.
Well, that's good. I think it's stuffy in here. Why don't I get in some fresh air? I don't see how you can stand it. Ah, David says we don't breathe deeply enough. David's kept himself in condition by breathing properly and exercising. He feels so sorry for poor Ernest because he's beginning to show his age so. You'd never suspect David was a day over 35. David hasn't gained a pound in 16 years. His old uniform still fits him perfectly. David was a lieutenant colonel, the youngest in the army.
There you are. You alone? I thought Margaret Ainsley was going to come by.
She kept on talking. Now she's gone. You're not angry with me, are you, Ernest?
Well, of course I'm not. I'm glad she's gone. I hope she stays away. Here, for the perfect wife.
Oh, how lovely. Thank you, Ernest.
Well, shouldn't you put them in water?
Can't. The pipes rattle.
The pipes rattle. Well, I'll have to speak to the janitor about that. Bernice, I've come home to have lunch with you. That's surprising, isn't it? I thought about it at breakfast, and it did not slip my mind. Bernice! What have you done?
It was too loud. I made it quiet.
But it's always been that loud. It's been chiming like that for 15 years.
I couldn't bear it.
But this senseless destruction, I don't understand it.
It interfered with my peace of mind.
Interfere?
Yes, I had to stop the telephone, too. And the refrigerator, it made such a racket, Ernest.
What did you do to the refrigerator?
It won't bother us anymore.
Bernice, the landlord owns the refrigerator. If you've harmed that, we're going to have to pay for it.
I'm sorry, Ernest.
You know, we just can't go around destroying things because they make loud noises. Now, Cupid doll, the dog, I haven't seen it this morning. Cupid doll. Cupid doll, here, Cupid. Bernice, when the dog was barking last night, how did you quiet it?
I forgot the doorbell.
Oh, Mr. Jensen, if you've come about the refrigerator, I'll have it repaired.
I don't know nothing about the refrigerator. Oh, Miss Lydica. That was bad news about that friend of yours. Got badly hurt in an accident.
Who's had an accident?
Mrs. Lydica's friend. The one who was just here.
What are you talking about?
Well, it looks like she fell. She fell out of a window. Anyhow, she's dead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jensen. Thank you very much. It's Margaret. Margaret fell.
Professor, I thought you'd gone to lunch. Anything wrong?
Something we forgot. There must be some way to reverse the process.
But why would we want to do that?
Well, in case of error, some harmful side effect of the tranquilizer.
We've examined the subject thoroughly, unless something new has turned up.
No, but we don't know yet what effect sonic tranquilization might have on the human mind, do we?
Well, no, we can't tell that until we experiment, but that's far in the future.
Sound waves penetrating right into the human brain, reacting on the nervous system. Some serious aversion might be caused.
Well, that's an interesting hypothesis, but I don't quite see where it's leading us.
William, I'm going to have to continue alone for a while. I won't need you.
Alone? But, Professor,
No, just take the time off now. Just to take the next day or two. I'll call you when I need you.
But we have a whole series
No,
of
just go immediately. Leave me alone.
Yes, if you say so.
What happened was Mrs. Ainsley must have walked down the stairs instead of using the elevator. Now, the windows were open on the landings, huh? Now, she tripped. Maybe she caught her heel. Did a header and pow! She fell to the sidewalk. Unless you have reason to think it was not an accident.
She kept on talking.
You mean she told you something?
Oh, many things. I couldn't bear to listen.
Yeah, what did she talk about?
Her husband, David this, David that.
Yeah, what did she tell you about him?
He has a keen mind.
Felt inadequate, huh? What else?
He's his own master.
Gave her a hard time, huh? That figures. Anything else?
He keeps himself in shape.
The same old story. Another woman. Say, maybe she didn't start down the stairs, huh? Maybe she went up to the roof. Did she seem despondent, act a little nervous, a little jittery?
She just kept on talking.
She talked herself into it. Well, thank you, Mrs. Lydica. You've been a big help. Listen, I'll just call my man downstairs now and go right up to the roof. Is it okay if I use your phone?
It isn't working.
Well, gee, you ought to have it fixed in case of an emergency. Never mind, I'll get it. Hey, Frank!
Don't blow that whistle.
Why not?
It's not that. It's not necessary. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
Who are you?
I'm her husband.
Oh, Professor Lydica. Well, your wife's already wised me up.
Then you know how it all came about.
Well, yeah, suicide. Well, we appreciate your cooperation, Mrs. Lydica. You've made the job a lot easier for us.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks, folks.
Well, is that all? Are you leaving?
Well, no, I won't need you folks anymore. Thanks again. So long.
Goodbye, officer. Come again.
Bernice, I understand everything. It's my fault entirely. I didn't know what effect it would have. The whole world's full of noise. You simply cannot cope with it. Not this way.
But I'm happy the way I am, Ernest. I don't want to change.
But you must change. Now come back to the laboratory with me, and I'll try to neutralize it somehow.
You don't know how happy I am, Ernest. There's never been such happiness before.
Now, come with me, Bernice. Trust me, I want to help you.
I don't need any help. Everything's perfectly beautiful.
Please, I beg of you.
No.
Come with me. I made a dreadful mistake. I have to correct it.
Help!
The ease with which the average person can be hypnotized, providing he cooperates, of course, was well demonstrated last year in a certain European country. There, a famous hypnotist appeared on television and invited his audience to let itself be put to sleep. Within 5 minutes, about 20 million people were in a deep trance, and the hypnotist went on to say to them, "I forbid you to wake up unless I personally give you the order." The bounder then walked off the set and demanded a huge sum of money from the network to bring them round. The network was panic-stricken and paid up. But since then, nobody has ever been allowed to use hypnotism upon a television audience, except, of course, the producers. We'll have another one for you next week at the same time. Good night, and sleep well.
Makeup created by Dick Smith. Hairstyles by Ernest Adler.
This is Rod Serling, your guide for a unique odyssey in the Twilight Zone. Next on most of these stations.
This program was pre-recorded. Paul Tremaine speaking.
All he wanted was a peaceful world. Well, now he's at peace. And I hope Mrs. Lydecker is declared insane at her trial. Prisons are very noisy, I understand, and she wouldn't like that at all. But mental hospitals can be very quiet and restful. On good days. Or so I've heard. Well, I hope you'll join me again next week, dear patrons, as we tour the dark depths of what TV used to be. As always, I am Lord Blood-Rah saying, you're always at home in the Cathode Zone.